Hello there, and welcome to the Wealthy Daughters podcast. I'm so excited that you are tuning in today. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you have been a long time listener, you already know that I appreciate you, and I'm so glad that you are a part of this community. Listen, today's episode is going to be so good. I already know that it's going to be inspirational to you. So be sure to listen all the way because it's going to be empowering to you in your life and in all that relates to you. And so I am not alone in the virtual room today. I have an incredible woman that has been an inspirational figure in my life since 2021. And I'm going to share more insight as well. But I'm going to get started. Let me talk a little bit about her, and then we're going to get started. So my guest is Mrs. Adedoyin Omotara. She is a women's empowerment advocate, a speaker, an author, confidence coach, and a multi-dimensional entrepreneur. And she has a vision to help women live fuller and more expressive lives. This passion made her leave her corporate career to become an entrepreneur. And she has pursued this dream of creating a life of spiritually creative fulfillment while inspiring women to see beauty as a source of confidence and not insecurity. She's currently the CEO of Adonia Beauty, Adonia Collective, Adonia Real Estate, Adonia Financials, and UYB Community. And she uses all her platforms to express her vision by investing in the dreams of girls and in the strength of women. So powerful. And her work has been featured severally on the news, in magazines, and on several global platforms. And it's truly an honor to have conversation with her today. So once again, welcome to the Wealthy Daughters podcast. Thank you for saying yes. And thank you for your yes to God as well. Welcome again.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Also, is there anything else you'd like to share or say to our audience before we dive into our questions?
Well, I'm really excited to be here. When I hear wealth, I'm at this stage of my life where I'm very intentional about building wealth, about recognizing wealth. So this is definitely a podcast you all want to listen to, and I'm just excited to share my story.
Awesome, awesome. Yes, same here. So when I hear after God laid this vision in my heart, I started seeing the word wealth everywhere. And so, especially when it's related to faith, I just lean in and say, "Okay, God, what are you saying here?" So I'm excited to dive in as well. So, like we talked about earlier, the first time I heard about you was in 2021, and I was in a coaching community with our mutual mentor, DDK, and in that coaching community, we were talking about different topics that were relevant to life. And that time in my life, I was going through a lot and I needed what was being done in that community. And I heard your story. You were one of the breakout room speakers, and you shared how in your life, you were in corporate space and you were just navigating corporate and doing well, but you were yearning for more. So kind of let us into that space. Like what does that look like? How was your life going? And then how were you in that space in your corporate career to where you were doing well? You were not just an individual contributor, you were a leader, you were doing great. You had everything that people would emulate and desire, but you were like, there's more. So let us into that story a little bit.
Yeah, so basically growing up, all I saw around me was, go to school, go to university, get a job, have get married, have children, and really retire and die,
Yeah.
and that was how my life was going. Like, oh, there was a stage in my life where I'm like, okay, I think I need to start thinking about having a relationship so I can get married, so I can,
Yeah.
and all of those things just went on and on, from after university, I got a job and then got married, and then we had relocated, and then I got another job, and I was doing pretty well. If there was anything, there was no job I applied for I didn't get in top
Wow.
organizations when I was working in the UK. And I did try. I worked in three different organizations within 5 years. And it was at the end of 5 years I discovered that, you know what, I don't think corporate is for me. I tried, being I studied electrical engineer, but I was more into project management, and I was a project planner. And then at some point I thought, maybe if I'm in the managerial space, because I love to connect with people and to lead people and mobilize people, maybe if I'm in that space, I'll feel better. And then I got, applied for this planning manager job. I got it. And it was still the same. The first 6 months, I'm excited. After that, I'm like, oh, what's next? Is this all there is to this job? Like, you know how you just have a feeling in your mind that there's just a lot more to you than what you're
Yeah.
currently doing. And I
Yes.
didn't
Yes.
know how to really put that out there. I
Mm,
remember even going to my manager to say, you know what, I want to start training graduates. I
mm,
want to create a training program for them. And,
mm.
just trying to do things
Yeah.
that I was strong at, my strength,
Mm,
beyond my typical job description. But it still wasn't enough.
mm,
I wasn't 100% sure what I was seeing
mm.
at that time, but I knew that what I was doing was not fulfilling.
That's not it. Yeah. Wow.
Wasn't fulfilling. It was, how you set a goal, you get to that goal, and you're like, is this it? Right?
Yeah.
So I wanted something feeling. And that was my late 20s. So I
Mm,
was entering into my 30s. I wanted something more fulfilling.
mm.
And also in my 20s, I had switched from IT telecoms into project management.
Wow.
And then, I had tried so many things in the
Yeah.
corporate world. And I'm like, you know what? I really don't like all of these things, you know? And then I thought, okay, maybe entrepreneurship. So then it was even still like, maybe, maybe not. It wasn't as if I was
Yeah. Yeah.
mother, let's try this. Let's try
Yeah. Yeah.
30, right?
Wow.
And then I started to, and I've always done makeup on the side. It was something that I'd always liked since I was in high school. But it didn't make,
Wow.
in high school, that was like early 2000s. It just didn't make sense to me.
Wow.
I didn't even tell
Wow.
my parents, make what
Wow.
is makeup? When I was like literally one of the top five in my set, right?
Wow.
So I was one of the people were hoping that I should either do, medicine or engineering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even give it a thought. I knew that I wasn't going to study electrical engineering because I wanted to work in oil and gas, as many of my mates did. I
Mm.
knew that I just went to study electrical engineering because I was strong in math, physics, and all those subjects. And
Yeah. Yeah. I get.
not because I had a dream for it. So as soon as I finished, I didn't even know what to do. Anyway, I got into IT telecoms. It was good money. I liked it. And I thought about the beauty that I liked. I'm like, I
Mm.
love beauty, but I don't think it's going to pay me. It's not going to be financially sustainable. So
Wow.
on the back burner, at times I'll even do it.
Wow.
At times I'll charge for it. And then by the time I was nearing my 30s, it was still very strong in my heart. Like, so I'm like, okay, who can I you know how you're looking at like who was already living that future
Mm-hmm.
that I visualize. And then I thought
Mm.
Sarah Feladrotoye, like she has this, she started with makeup services, she has a product, has a school. So I thought, that might be a good model. Okay, let me start building. So I started building. I think I was 28 going to 29 when I started building.
Wow.
29th birthday, I did a launch in my house in Aberdeen, Scotland. Um, and it was like I invited a few people, made food, and we launched Adonia. And I remember
Wow.
then, even before I got that name, I was going to use one random Motis makeovers, for my
Yeah.
name and makeovers. And then my friend, who was a photographer then, was always talking about business. She's a mentee to me, and she was like, "Ah, no, Auntie, I think you should think of why you're doing it. Um,
Mm.
get a name that aligns with that." And I googled one name for a beautiful woman, right? One
Mm.
name for a woman that is beautiful both inside and
And
outside.
out.
I
That's
thought
good.
of Adonia. Adonis. It's a Greek word. And I'm like, oh, and it even sounds like my name, Adedoyin. Why not?
Yeah.
That was the inspiration for.
Yeah.
And then I got the name, I registered the business. And within a year, it grew really quickly in Aberdeen. I partnered with a photographer. So we're always doing makeup and photography. We sold vouchers to a lot of men to buy for their husbands, to their wives.
That's perfect.
And it
Yeah.
was really beautiful. And then after a year, we had to move to Canada. And that was when I knew that, it was like I was testing the waters. Then I was still working full time and doing this business. And
Mm.
I saw that I was spending a lot of time at work, even thinking about the business, strategizing about the business. And I'm like, if I really want this thing to work, I need to focus. And that
Mm,
decided I was gonna leave corporate for real,
mm,
move into entrepreneurship as I started to enjoy what I was doing. And then we moved to Canada. I hit the ground running, looked for organizations that could help develop my business plan, and that was literally how I kicked off Adoya as a company here. So within the first 1 year, I had launched my first set of products because I had been researching and I saw some private label companies in Canada.
mm,
They were really good. So I went all out for it. And we had launched in we got to Canada in 2015. We launched in 2016. And when we were launching, the idea of beauty for me is really about who you are, being confident. So I was like, I don't want regular models
mm,
to get on the internet. I wanted everyday women. Those are my clients. Those are my target markets. I want them to feel beautiful within themselves, no matter the shape, the size. I just want
yeah,
them to feel beautiful. So Adoya is like almost like a symbol of beauty. Like when you
mm,
use that product, you instantly feel beautiful, not because
wow,
you want to contour even my style of teaching makeup, I could teach you like all of the concepts, and I'm like, you know what? Just choose the ones that you feel enhances your beauty the most. Choose the one that makes you feel good. If it's just mascara and eyeliner, you're good to go. If
yeah,
the lip gloss, you're good to go. It's a symbol. It is not what makes you beautiful. You are already beautiful. It's just one of those things that should just help you, affirm yourself.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
products are there. And I remember when I did that, when I launched, a lot of women really felt connected to the
mm,
really, really felt the connection to the brand. And they started sending me emails, oh, you're so inspiring. I just love what you're doing. And I'm like, I just want to sell products. What are these people talking?
wow, wow,
Made me that made me, sit back. I put away my business plan, all the marketing plan I had after the launch.
wow,
And I'm like, what is this really about? I hope
mm,
it's not one other thing that I would start and after 6 months I would stop. Like
mm,
the previous jobs I had done,
right,
you know. And I started to ask God, God, why am I doing makeup? That was the very first time I sort of wrestled with God. And
wow,
put this interest in me. I
wow,
it was more confusing for me because it wasn't like I wasn't good at other things. I could
mm,
book now, read it, pass any exams, and
mm,
job. Getting a
yeah,
job wasn't a problem. So
yeah,
God, why am I? I hope I'm not gonna do this, put my time, my energy, my money in
mm,
after 5 years. I see that I've wasted my time. I hope that
wow,
all of those thoughts were going on inside of me. I was scared. I had so many palpitations. I was just like, I need
wow,
direction.
yes,
They needed direction. And I remember I went on a fast, social media fast, and I was mostly praying. Like that was what I was focusing on that period, praying and reading books. And
mm,
I remember that afternoon when I heard clearly, change the names of your products. Because I was like,
wow,
what exactly am I supposed to be doing? Even with this beauty, I cannot compete with Sephora, Mark. I don't even have that money.
mm,
So thinking, I said, change the names of your products to who I want women to be, who I have designed them to be.
yeah,
I remember dropping what I was cooking. I sat down and the names started coming. I am valuable. I am beautiful. I am worthy,
mm,
magnificent, inner truth. I started writing Unmask Your Beauty, which had always been my theme. You know, I started to write, and it was almost like a veil, like a black veil.
wow, lifted,
I started to see, and really, that was what opened me up. Like it literally just opened my mind up. So that's why for me the biggest thing I teach is is leaning into purpose.
yes,
So the
yes,
sense of purpose. So beyond the lipsticks, I started to see that, oh, this is what God is actually. So what I heard was change the names of your lipsticks. Well, I know that it was beyond lipstick. I needed to do the work. So the work was, change the names of your lipstick to who I want women to be, to validate women who they truly are, to know who they truly are. And I know it's beyond the lipsticks. And that was really what birthed everything I'm doing now. I
wow,
to write a book around that encounter. As soon as I wrote the book, I started a community called the UIB community. That's the masculine
Wow.
community, where all we pray, we read,
Wow.
we develop ourselves, and we smash our goals.
Come on.
The main point of that group is to first discover your purpose. So we start with that, and it's a year.
Mm,
And it also opened me up to the fact that you're not a makeup artist, girl. And I
yeah.
just struggle with that because I'm like, I can do more. I can do better than this. I'm not now
Mm,
not to disqualify or makeup artists or anything like that, or to make them look small. But I could do things that would earn me a lot more, a lot more money at that time.
hmm
And
Yeah.
it wasn't added up. So when God started to open me
Yes.
up, I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I see where you're." So that was just, it was just to point me. It was a pointer because I'd been interested in this thing since high school days. It was a pointer. I want you to see beauty this way. I want you to
Mm,
enter that industry and help women to see beauty this way. And that's the way I teach purpose. So some
mm,
while some people just go straight on purpose, I
yeah.
go to beauty and people
Yes.
embrace who they are. I get
Wow.
that I am I give like I give them the idea of I'm the idea of that woman that can do anything, that
Mm,
can live fully, that can live
yeah.
exceedingly and out from a place of rest, not chaos.
Mm.
So yeah, that's my story in a nutshell.
So good. No, you already said so many things that were just mind blowing. There were some I didn't even know. So, wow, so beautiful, so powerful. I love it. I love it. And I love the part where you also talked about how you are now teaching people about walking in their own purpose. Because in your life, it had always been in on the inside of you to where you wanted to do makeup, but it didn't make sense. It didn't add up to what stereotypically people say we should pursue, but it was how God had wired you. So, wow, oh, gosh, so good. So, what's your advice for helping people come into purpose early? Right. So in your life, you did other things, then you came to what God is calling you to do. But I also know that God doesn't waste anything. So what you learned in that season, there's a way that God is also using it in what you're doing now. But what do we advise people about coming into purpose early and like discovering how God has wired them?
My goodness, it changes the game. I just love my life. Now it don't
Mm,
I don't have challenges. In fact, I've
sure.
run into a lot of challenges, even running the business that God gave me,
Mm,
right? But I just there's just this thing that you just know that you're in alignment. It's
yes.
something about alignment where you're not outside of anywhere. You're right in the middle of your alignment. You're right in
Mm,
the middle of where you should be. And
mm,
that's what purpose does for you. And the earlier you found it, the better. Some people don't find purpose till 40, till 50,
mm,
when they've even made all the money in their career and they're like, but I
yeah.
still feel empty.
Mm,
There is just still this emptiness if you're not doing something bigger,
mm,
making money than going for holiday. There has to be something your heart, your mind is connected to something,
mm,
right?
mm,
So in any space I am, the first thing I'm thinking is how do we empower women to live
mm,
fuller and more expressive lives? Because that was
yeah.
clear for me. Like I
Mm,
doing this is what I want you to do for
yeah.
women. Even though he told me through lipsticks, but I got it. I got it.
Yes.
This is what I want you to do on earth. And that opened
Mm,
up my mind. Like, okay, so I could be an author. I never thought I could be an author in my life. I thought special
wow.
people wrote books.
Wow.
So I'm like, I could be an author. I
Mm,
could, I could be a speaker. I started to, brush up my speaking skills as well. I could be a
yeah.
speaker. It just blows my mind. Like every morning I wake up and I'm like, God, what do you want me to do today? It's
Wow, I
exciting.
love it.
It's exciting. Even
Yeah.
the way you can I visualize a lot. I'm a dreamer. I'm very futuristic. And I'm like, honestly, I have things to do till I'm 100. So I don't understand
Mm,
why people say they're idle. People say I'm an empty nester or whatever. Like, I already have projects to do once my kids leave home. There are projects I'm waiting. And I'm like, okay, in this season of life, I can't really put all the energy I would love to put into this project. I
hmm
have 6 more years.
Yeah.
You understand? Like that is that. So I'm even excited, not just for today. I'm excited for the future
That's good.
because of purpose. Because with purpose, you cannot even be one thing.
Yeah.
You can't be one thing. Even if I was still doing my 9 to 5 and I discovered this was what God wanted me to be doing, I will be a I will be a star in in my organization because I'm going to do more than my job. I'm going
Yeah.
to look
Yeah.
for how, okay, where are the women in this organization? What are the problems they are facing? How can they
Mm,
be more confident? How can they live more expressive lives? How can they live fuller in
mm,
this organization? You
mm.
are going to become a subject. I would have been a subject matter expert
Expert.
in
Yeah.
something in that organization because it is something close to my heart. And
Yeah.
when I see a woman of purpose, I support it. Someone
Mm,
like Michelle Obama, beyond, I could tell that it didn't enter her head that, oh, I'm the president's wife. No,
mm-hmm,
no, 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 no. That wasn't it for her.
mm-hmm,
She was doing projects close to her heart and she was
mm,
having fun doing it.
mm-hmm.
Right? And that's it. It's not so you're not going to be labeled, based on somebody else or based on a career or based on you are just who you are based on how
Wow.
God has wired you. It's beautiful. I want everyone to catch purpose early so that they can
Mm.
live a bedazzled life and dedicate.
Wow. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So good. So what is like maybe one tip? I know it's probably a whole process, but what is one tip you usually give people around being able to find clarity like you did? Being able to give language to it or give a framework to say, this is why God has put me on the earth.
Okay. So I have this framework work that I've put together called gifts.
Mm,
Uh, G means your genuine passion, I your innate strength, F your fundamental values, T your true personality, S your story. But I'll focus on story today. Story is a big part of it. What
mm,
has been happening to you all through your life? What are those things that are still fresh in your memory? It happened when you were 5, it happened when you were 7, it happened when you were 8. You may not remember everything, but you remember those ones vividly because they made a mark on you. You want to write those things down. Like do a time, like a proper timeline of your life, and then write things that you remember. A
mm.
lot of those stories have things. They have things. There's a reason
Yeah.
there's a reason. There's a reason. So I started to embrace everything about me more. I started to embrace my roots, started to
Mm,
embrace my parents, started to embrace
yeah.
all the schools they sent me to.
Mm,
I just started to embrace everything because I'm like, oh my God, all of these were happening for me to be able to pinpoint who I was.
mm,
'Cause I remember that I wasn't a troublesome child growing up, but it got to a point in grade 11, that's SS2 in Nigeria, where I just couldn't take some things, and I
mm,
would fight for girls. I
mm.
would fight for them to know
Wow.
my business,
Wow.
and I would just stand up and fight. And like one of it even got me in trouble where I was actually sent home. Like from
Mm,
school, I was in boarding house and I was sent home to call my parents because I got into trouble for what was not even, you know, an attack to me, it was an attack to a friend. But I'm like, no, you are not going to defame this girl because
mm,
she's busty. No, I didn't learn it from anywhere. I did not see anybody do it. It was just something I felt a conviction for that no.
wow.
So I started to write down those stories because those were
Mm,
very pivotal periods of my life. I
sure.
felt so bad I was sent home to call my parents and got into trouble.
Mhm.
But then when I started to think back, I'm like, this is why
Wow.
business. Why am I
Wow.
fighting? This is why God has sent me to liberate women.
Yeah.
And I did not even know. And naturally, women gravitate towards me naturally anywhere
Mm,
I am.
mm,
It's just a natural thing, whether it's because I'm always smiling or women just gravitate towards me. And I remember even when I was in Aberdeen, when I was working full time, a lot of women would say, how are you so confident? Like
mm.
this job that you applied for that you got, they would not even have applied for it, let alone got the job.
Wow. Wow.
So the confidence theme had been there. So when God started to tell me that I've placed all of these things in you so that you can help women
Mm,
to become confident, so that you can help women to live this full life, this expressive life where you think of something, you get it done. This whole execution, I need you to help women. It's just beautiful. Since then, Even like I just love my life.
Yeah, so good. No, so, so powerful. Few things stand out to me. One is that you took your agitation, the fact that you were trying to find more, you took that to God and you were able to look at your life story. Because some people, they go through that and they go into depression, they go into anxiety. It makes them lose their sense of life because they're looking for more and they just cannot find it. So that's one big lesson, that our purpose, our identity is in God. And God is so faithful that it's it's weaved in our story. Our lives has clues to who He has wired us to be. And the one thing that stood out to me is that when God gave you the details of the names of your lipsticks, that stood out to me because growing up, I don't know if it was like that in your environment, in your community, makeup was like not a good thing. I
I
don't know
know.
if you, yeah. So when I heard you talk about how God gave you lipstick names in details, something shifted within me. I'm like, hold on, what? First of all, God was giving her details, not just you Googling or figuring out, but He was speaking to you in that language. Like that was mind blowing for me. So God really has a unique plan for everyone. And it's so exciting to see someone like you just literally walking in that and living your full life and helping others do the same. So
Thank you.
continue from there. So now that you're deep into entrepreneurship and navigating your beauty industry and other things that you're doing as well, how is your faith a part of that? So I know you already alluded to it. So is there anything you want to say specifically? And the reason why I like asking this question is that I grew up feeling or seeing that it was almost like faith was on one side, and then your skill set or what you know how to do and all that was on one side. And I didn't really see people express their faith or express um, excellence and strategy in their businesses. It wasn't until recently that I started seeing people that will talk about how the Holy Spirit gave them strategy for their business and things like that. And that was just mind blowing to me. So I'm sure you have stories of how the Holy Spirit has given you strategy for your business and how your faith really has been a driving force in all that you're doing. So is there anything you want to add on to that?
So the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. That scripture, as soon as I started to really understand it, I'm like, the earth is the Lord's,
Mm,
all of the earth. So whether it's a strategy meeting at work or even to mundane things as cooking food, the earth,
mm,
Lord's and the fullness thereof. There is nothing that should exclude God.
yeah.
And I feel for me, my faith is my grounding, is like that foundation where everything comes out. So it's like having someone telling you secrets,
Hmm.
showing you your future, telling you do like this, move like this, move like this. How do you leave that place now? You
Yeah,
don't. You don't. And that's why no matter what happens, I know that I can always come to my father.
that's
I
so
know
good.
that it's always there. Is always there. And when I'm confused, because we are living on earth, right? Even Jesus, the cup was too much for him to bear. Like, can this cup just pass over me? Jesus went through his own challenges. Jesus had to leave. He had to leave some places, because, of people that wanted to kill him.
Hmm.
There were so many things Jesus. So I'm like, if Jesus came to show us how to live on earth, right? So even when I'm going through challenges, it's me just saying, God, what are you trying to teach me in all of this? And at times I even feel, did I really hear God say this about
Mm,
what I'm doing? Right. And even with the whole lipstick and everything, I'm like, I feel the direction uh God wants me to go, especially with all the strength I have speaking and all of that. Am I really, going in that direction? I sell a lot of the lipsticks, by the way, but I discover I sell them more through speaking. I can speak
wow.
conference, and the leader of the conference might just reach out to me for the following conference and say, I want to give your lipsticks to the people in this conference. We would love to order 200. We would love to order.
Wow.
But then I have a store where the lipsticks are sitting and people are just buying it one by one. And
Wow.
I'm supposed to have the store, so there's still things I'm still asking God, that I know that whatever happens, the lipsticks with Adonia Beauty are here to stay, because we've gotten several testimonies
Hmm.
around the lipstick. Yeah, so it's living like staying. My faith is the biggest part. That's the only way I have direction. That is what gives me the marketing strategy, sales strategy, and everything that I do. It's me being rooted in my faith.
Yeah, no, that's so powerful because like DDK always says that our faith has to convert. It's
Yeah,
not just, in one place and we just know all this information, but it has to convert into
yeah,
everything that we do. That's so powerful. That's so good. Yeah.
that's
And so I didn't have this listed down, but I'm just kind of curious. So with your products, like how do you mentioned your speaking engagements and that's how people purchase as well. But with the beauty industry so large and there are several dominant big players,
yeah.
how have you stood out in what you do?
Honestly, it's this story. It
Okay.
is this story. So I speak about and my these are some of the things I'm beginning to also highlight. Looking back at my life in the last 10 years, I'm turning 40.
Yeah.
So looking at
Mm,
the last 10 years, I'm like, okay, I think I need to use some of my strengths even more. I need to go
mm,
speaking, for instance, is big for me. Whenever I speak, people just want to hear more. Like,
mm,
can she continue to talk? Uh,
mm.
so what differentiates me? It's actually this story. It actually understand. So people buy through emotions. People buy really who you are, right? If they really want to buy a brand. Apart from, everybody goes to Walmart, everybody just picks something.
Yeah.
If people really want to, makeup is not like an everyday need. So if it's something that you really want to start buying, then people want to buy a lifestyle, right? Just
Mm,
buy Lululemon. There's a Lululemon girl. So there's an Adonia woman.
mm.
There's an Adonia woman that lives freely, that lives expressively, that lives confidently, right? And
Yeah.
that is the Adonia woman, and that is what those lipsticks represent. So I remember when a women community reached out to me that they were gonna order the first time I had a big order like that. They were gonna order 100 lipsticks. I was like, what? 100? Like they could have gone to Walmart. They're
Yeah.
for $4.
Wow.
Good brand. So it wasn't about the price. It wasn't even about the quality. It was about the why. Like,
Mm,
what does this brand stand for? We love what it stands for. We want it.
mm,
Whatever it is, we want it. That's what we want. And that
mm.
is what I feel will stand us out in every market is saturated. Every market. There's no market that is not saturated, except maybe you are a first mover. And by the time you're a first mover in an industry and people see it's a good industry, it becomes
Yeah,
saturated because there's so many
mhm.
people on earth, people keep giving birth, right? And everybody needs to look for so this is what will stand you out and will make you more desirable to people that God has sent you to, right? Because we all have our own tribe.
Yeah, that's powerful. I love that. So, so good. So, so good. So continue from here. I think this is the perfect spot. So I've seen just from following you all these years, I've seen how your company has evolved and you've stepped into different things like we read in your bio as well. And so with you being a creative, being, someone that has multiple gifts and multiple ideas, how have you known when to pivot or when to introduce this? I'm sure, like you said earlier, God has given you many things up until your old age. And so, how do you know, okay, it's time to introduce this, it's time to step into this space?
Okay, so all of those things honestly are born from um from the need of the women.
Mm,
As I said earlier, I attract a lot of women. So when I opened my store, a lot of people were coming like, "Oh, can I put my product in your store? Can I put my product in your store?" Initially, I allowed a few that were beauty related, and then later, I started to have products even back end, right? Like people will come to the store and then I'll offer them some chin very well nicely
mm,
packaged chin because I really love the brand. But then I can't display it in the store because it just doesn't make sense. We sell Dream Beauty and then so it will be back end. I would buy from the brand and then offer it to people. I would
mm,
and then people would like it and it would go, oh, where is this chin? And then I started to stock it at the back of the store. so I could sell it to my clients because I really love it. So it's
Yeah.
what if I like a brand, I'm like, can you be out there? Why are you just in your house? Why are you just in your basement? And that was what
Mm,
Adonia Collective. I'm like, why
mm.
don't we have a space where there is still beauty, but then where other um female entrepreneurs can also show
Wow.
what they
Mm,
have. So it was born out of purpose.
mm.
Like, I want to help these women live
Yeah.
live more expressively. You have product. Why are they hiding in your basement? Why is it only your friends and family that are buying from you? Why? How do you really understand the value of your product? If a random person doesn't buy it, to really give you a testimonial, because your friends
Mm,
and family will all be nice to you, and even if it's bad, they might not tell you,
mhm.
right? So it was a way for them to get a product validation in the market, and then also to just feel more confident about what they're doing. So, I mean,
Mhm.
we've had people that have started in the collective and they've said, this is not really working for me. But there's so many people, and so many people are still wanting to come in that, oh, there's a retail space that can give us some presence, that can give us some, some exposure. Why not? So we have brands different. So right now we have about 31 brands in the,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's how
So the whole lot is yours and then you give them out of space? Or what?
exactly. So I own the space, and then but
Wow.
beauty doesn't really need a lot of space, foundation, and so we have our space where we put the beauty products, and then we now have the other spaces where we put other people's products. So each brand has their own little cubicle, and we just split commissions.
That is powerful. It's funny that I actually remember, I hope I'm right with this. I remember when you had your first pop-up shop in the mall. And I remember thinking, oh, that's so powerful. And so now to see it's a whole store and it also hosts other women, that is so powerful. And I also saw recently you into real estate. So
Yeah,
tell
so
us about real estate.
about that. So that's about Adonia. So you already know about Adonia Beauty. Then I told you
Yeah.
about Adonia Collective. And then you already know about UYB Community. That was birthed from when I wrote my book. We did a book club and people were interested in execution. And I'm like, okay, we can start a year-long, club. People pay yearly. And then we read books, we pray, we talk, we mastermind about our
Mm,
actions. And then we talk about, okay, we have accountability partners. And yeah, and so that's UIB community. And then Adonia Real Estate, which I started last year. So it was actually birthed from Adonia Collective as well.
wow.
So Adonia Collective, the day I opened it, there's a friend of mine who is a builder. And he said, Donia, I hope you're seeing beyond just giving people cubicles in your store. I hope you're seeing
Mm.
beyond that. I hope you know that you can actually build a plaza.
Wow.
They
Okay.
actually build a plaza and actually lease, because he said, and actually lease spaces out to those people. He said, because right now they are starting as, oh, I just have a small cubicle inside Adonia. That a lot of them also have plans to have their own spaces. Why don't you develop them into that type of business like Adonia so that they will have their own spaces? So if you have a plaza, you can actually have different people
Hey,
leasing.
hey, yes, yes, yes.
That cost of real estate. Never. So I was not like plaza, build plaza. That I don't even have money to build plaza. That I don't know, it's not rich like that. Oh, I was telling him. I now
Yeah.
thought of it that actually, and because when he said it, I remember the dream I had. I actually saw a big white building that had,
Come on.
yeah,
So good.
and I'm like, yes,
Adonia what? Say it again.
Donia.
Place? Mm.
I'm like, I've actually had this dream, but how do we go about it? That was when I thought, you know what? What's the easiest way to enter into real estate? I do want to build a plaza here, but what's the easiest way
Mm.
to real estate? And I thought buying and selling because I had friends that were buying and selling. I'm like, okay, I think that would give me a lot of money quicker so that I can do what I want to do. If I
Okay.
play with this lipstick, it will take forever
Mm.
to gather that kind of money. So, and that was how I got interested in real estate, read for my exams, passed it. And as soon as I passed it, I've inspired so many other people to get into real estate.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's for the right reasons or the wrong, but I know that I'm in it for the right reasons. And I know that whatever I'm doing, the core of it is women, empowering.
Mm.
So I'm always thinking, how can I empower women with this platform that I have? So yeah, that was how I got into real estate. So I started selling
Wow.
mine, and right now I'm working towards actually
The
building a travel.
plaza.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so powerful. I didn't know that was the reason. That is so powerful. Ugh, so powerful. I love it. I love it so much. I have one more question, but I'm going to move on and I'll come back to it. But I want to hear about the Wealthy Woman series. So early this year, I started seeing you post and talk about the Wealthy Woman series. And specifically, you talked about you're going to be sharing, what wealth means to you based on your personal experiences and your encounters with God. And you've already touched on it, but I want to hear specifically. I also really want to hear how women, especially, can experience this and not just have the head knowledge or hear a testimony, just be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's nice for her, but how can we also all be a part of it as well?
Absolutely. So every year we have a theme for the Unmask Your Beauty conference. So
Mm.
alongside, I've always had conferences as well. I do a yearly conference every year that hosts about 300 to 400 women. I don't know. Some of my friends ask me, how do you do it? You're selling this thing,
Yeah.
buying it every year. What are they coming to listen to? So the conference every year we have different themes. There was a year we had the theme was goddess, another theme was level up, another
Mm,
was miracles happen. So we have
mm,
different themes. And before the year, like a lot of times, even God may have given me 2 years ahead, like the themes for 2 years.
mm,
So I already knew that this year was going to be the wealthy woman. That was the theme. So we already
mm,
announced the theme at the previous conference. So the last year's conference at the end, we announced the theme for this year, which was the wealthy woman. And I've always wanted a situation where my Instagram post, my LinkedIn post, like just my personal brand, I'm able to talk about what I'm thinking, where what is God saying with this thing? What is God saying to women? It's been a long time coming, just even trying to structure my life to be able to do the things I personally want to do as Adedoyin Omotara. Because running all these multiple businesses, for you're able to get people to actually do things so that do things for you so that you're able to focus on your own things. So this is
vision, yeah.
actually the first year. There have been years where I've started, but I've not been able to finish. Like miracles happen, and I started to talk about miracles, and then I paused, and then yeah, life happened, and then even level up. But this year, I was like, I started a bit late, but I said, you know what, I will try and be consistent. About with the wealthy woman series. What is God saying? I'm
Mm,
gonna put a lot about wealth, identifying wealth, and then using that wealth for what He wants us to use it for, right? So wealth is everywhere. Even people are wealth. It took a while for me to understand that. Before I used to push people away. I didn't like the fact that people wanted to be around me. Like I'm the kind of person where everybody thinks I'm their best friend. So people are upset, like, Joy, I've not seen you. Like, yeah, we've never spoken in 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm only
oh.
one person. I can't, you
Yeah.
know. So I started to, but before in the past, people would come to me, even mentees, oh, how are you doing it? I'm like, I don't want too many people around me. It's too much, it's overwhelming. But over the years, I've learned to manage people.
Mm,
I've learned to really understand that people are well. There is
mm,
no vision God is giving you that you can do alone. You need people,
yeah.
a lot of people. So having that grace over your life where people just like you, where people
Mm,
like what you stand for, where people are just naturally drawn to you, it's actually grace. It is well,
mm,
right? And that's why I feel any business I do right now, because of the personal brand I've built, I will do well because the people are already there that want to buy, that are ready to buy. And that's why it
mm,
seems like I entered into real estate and I started killing it because the people
mm.
are already there that are like, oh, yeah, we'll support.
Yeah, you already have an audience.
You
Yeah.
understand? Yeah. So wealth is a lot of things. This week I'm putting out ideas as well. Like if you are someone that ideates a lot, a lot of things, a lot of times the things that God puts inside of you to actually liberate you are the things that overwhelm you the most. I know people personally where they have lots of ideas that their heads are almost blowing because how
Mm,
many can you possibly do by yourself?
mm,
So this is me wanting to put it out that ideas are actually wealth, but you cannot possibly do them by yourself. So do you want to consider a career in consulting And all
Mm.
those ideas, like
Mm.
make it into a currency you can liquidate, right? Those
Yes.
are the things I
Wow.
want to start putting out, like all of these things. And I share some of my own stories as well. I'm an ideator as well. But these days, I'm just like, you know what? I can always just tell people what they can do. And that's why I
Mm.
UID community, the mastermind community. It's not everyone that I can, it's not everybody that you can tell what you want to do and they will come up with sharp
Yeah,
ideas.
it's true.
Literally,
It's true.
so if you are like that, you want to see it as well. Don't see it as something about like you have to do everything. You cannot possibly.
Mm.
So there's so many things that we overlook and we only see money as wealth. And that's why a lot of people chase money, right? But it will not give you that fulfillment until you start to see all of these other things as wealth, all of these other things
Mm.
that God has placed inside of us and within us, all our gifts, our talent, the people around us, our roots, everything. It's
Mm.
all how do you now convert it
Yes.
in that
That's it.
can be used? Yeah. So
That's
that's
it.
it. What's the conversion gonna be like? How do you liquidate that currency to something
Mm-hmm.
movable, right? And those are the things I've been trying to touch on till I started going on holiday in July. And I'm like, I beg, I didn't break. Well, I want to go back.
Yeah. Okay, you've already said so much. I feel like every time you say something, it's always so expensive and just so good. So a couple of things I want to ask. So how do we liquidate the wealth that we already have? From hearing you, it's like that wealth is innate. It's just how God has wired us. So what is one or two things you can say about liquidating that and converting that into what we can see and what we can tangibly experience?
So I'll give you one example. One wealth that I personally know that I have is the gift of speaking. I knew it right from I think when I started working 9 to 5. When I presented my part,
Mm.
the people wanted to hear more. They wanted to listen more. Also, I also knew because when I attended conferences and I heard people speaking, I almost feel like I can be that person.
Yes.
When I started my entrepreneurship journey, and I heard a lady speak, and she was talking about how to speak to earn something like that. I signed up
Mm.
for it. It
Mm.
was about $2,000. I paid, I think, for almost a year for that course.
Mm. Mm.
But it helped me to know how to share my story in a way that I can liquidate that currency because I know
Mm.
it is something that I have inside. You will know when you have a gift. You would know. Now you may need to take that gift to Harvard, as DDK says, by
Ridiculously.
learning more, but you would know. So even when I had not taken it to Harvard, people already saw it. But then I'm like, how can I be more impactful?
Mm.
By speaking. And then I went to learn how to speak. And since then, in fact, I've not still harnessed 10% of it because
Mm. Wow.
I go to big stages and I'm like, I can speak like this. I can speak like this when 40,000 people will be there and I would, literally rock the stage. Now that's a gift. It is
Mm.
any gift you have inside of you is wealth that can be
Mm.
distributed
Mm.
for kingdom use.
Mm.
So at times I preach in my church. At times, I still speak. At times, I still speak where I don't get paid. I don't mind if it's something that I know that it's of an eternal use. But there are a lot of
Yeah.
people, the same thing I'm going to talk about, and they're paying me
Yeah.
thousands,
Mm.
right? So it is you now, if you know that you have a gift, have you been able to package it and put it in a way that it's actually sellable? That people,
Mm.
what have you done about it? For my
Mm.
speaking, for instance, I have a website, that says book Adedoyin Omotara for speaking,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I have an event every year where I get people to speak and I also speak.
Mm-hmm.
So when people start to see you speaking and then also putting it out there on social media, oh, last weekend I was speaking at this event. So people know that you're actually available for speaking,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
So, and all of those things, before you know it, people actually start to put a premium on it because they see the effect you have on people when you speak. You might be
Mm.
saying the same thing, but how you deliver it is what will give people their deliverances and breakthrough. So
Come
speaking
on.
just, you know, it is a gift, and you need
Mm.
as that. I went to Woman Evolve Woman Evolve in last year. And then I was there, I was like, I could actually speak on this stage.
Mm.
And I was thinking to my mind, I don't even need to be a main speaker because I see that some people also um um they sponsor the program. So I said,
Yes.
how can I sponsor the program and I get a 5 minute slot to just speak about my brand? Right?
Mm.
Because I
Mhm.
know beyond the exposure is gonna give the brand, it's gonna deliver a lot of people. Just
Impact, yes.
about one, it is my story.
Hmm.
So many ways you can actually get out there, and so many, and as they say, the person that you're trying to meet, or the person that will actually give you a breakthrough, is probably like 3 people away from you.
Exactly. Exactly.
We
Yeah.
just need to think global with the
Yeah.
gift. And yeah, I just explain how a gift like speaking can be liquidated into currency. Yeah.
That's good. No, that's powerful. That's powerful. So just being attentive to what God is doing and not downplaying things, being attentive to the two talents we have, quote unquote, the five talents we have, the one talent we have, and being able to refine it and take it to the market. I love it.
I
I love it.
not downplaying. I love it.
Yeah.
I could easily have downplayed it.
Hmm.
Saying you talk too much, you talk too much. But
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. So continue on this Wealthy Woman series. Something I saw you post on one of your Instagram posts is that you broke down different areas of wealth and how you moved from transactional wealth to just selling products to navigating into like coaching and speaking and the involvement of that. So is there anything else you want to touch on in that area? Because I thought that was a really powerful way of engaging.
Yeah, transactional wealth is beautiful. It's what we all know. I give you $1,000. You give me a what's it called, a pair of
Yeah.
bags,
Whatever. Yeah. Hmm.
a purse or something. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
transactional value. I give you money, you give me a
Yeah.
purse, and that's it. But I started to see that there is something called transformational value,
Mm.
where it's almost like selling who you are. And when you sell who you are, you're able to put language to who you are and break it down, codify it, break it down for people, and people use it for their own breakthrough. Who you are transforms other people. There is no cost on on who you are. They
Mm.
can't put a
Yes.
price. They
That's
cannot put
true.
a price.
That's
I
true.
don't
That's true. That's true.
put a price on it. And that's
Hmm.
why people are like, they're so confused. What do we do? Should we build a house for her? Should we? Do you understand? It's so because it is transformational. You've literally changed who I am.
Mm.
And I see that this new person that I am, it's gonna change my own generation.
Wow.
So I'm not even thinking. So for you, it's the way I look at my coach, DDK. If she says she wants to charge any amount, I don't even think about it. I'm just like, I will work towards getting that money and to give to her because it's transformational. The value I've gotten from her, it is not transactional.
Mm.
That's where we all need to be. If you're really
Yes.
living in alignment, everything you're putting out is going to transform. It's going to transform people. It's going
Yeah.
to be people that are literally going to be transformed by who you are and
Mm.
what your personal brand is putting out. And they won't be able to even put a value on it.
Yeah. No, that's powerful. No, that's really powerful. It's deeper than just the exchange of money and things of that nature. And when I started Wealthy Daughters, when God spoke to me about Wealthy Daughters, I was thinking, okay, money and finance and things of that nature. And I've just begun to see an evolution to where God's like, no, it's deeper than that. It's deep in your spirituality and then just tapping into purpose and seeing that expression in every area of life. And you've really, really like highlighted that so beautifully. I'm so honored. Something you said just caught my attention because you kind of alluded to it earlier when you talked about um, speaking training. Yeah. And so I wanted to touch on personal development because you've talked also referred to DDK a lot. I believe you were also in VCAP, maybe at the beginning of VCAP.
Big Cap. I did Big Cap in 2021. I know it's
Okay.
it's a lifelong thing, so I still have access to the resources. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah. So yeah. So the role of personal development in your vision, your personal life, so on and so forth. Anything you want to add on to that?
it's big. It's my grounding.
Yeah.
So the way I've structured my life, I have a very tight calendar. I except on days where I'm just like, you know what? I just don't want to do anything. I want to like
Mm,
watching a movie, sitting down to Netflix is actually like a reward.
mm,
It's not something I naturally will gravitate towards because the father's job business requires haste. So I don't have time. Anyway, but on Mondays, no matter how busy I am, Mondays are my day off. I don't work. I don't do work
mm.
work. However, what I focus on are things that will fill my spirit and my soul mostly.
It's good.
That's when I feed on DDK's materials or the VCAP on bundling, all of those materials, any course that I've paid for. I pay a lot for personal development. I attend conferences, I attend retreats. I make time for those things because I know that's the grounding. Because honestly, you and I both know that we are almost like the 1% of people just seeing something bigger, where and the way a lot of people are just looking at money, how can I make the next money? But you know that money is only a result, right? It will
Mhm.
come out if you actually do things right. So just setting that time for personal development intentionally. No, it's not just something that, oh, my friend is going for this kind, let me go. Intentionally planning as you are budgeting your year. You want to budget personal development into it. Oh,
Mm,
every Monday, I need resources. I always want to have resources that I'm using. So I have DDK's resources, 247, everything, spiritual or everything I have it.
yes.
I also have my own personal Bible study plan. Mondays are those days where I'm like, I just want to feel myself. And by the end of the day, I feel good with
Good.
myself to kick off my week. So I know
Good.
Tuesday to Saturday, I'm all over, doing my work, children, all of that. And on Sunday, I mostly just rest with family, just family time. But as Monday kicks in, most times I'm fasting and I'm learning. It's personal development, especially. It's big
Yeah.
deal. It's how I
Yeah.
feel myself.
Yes. And I'm glad I asked that question. Thank you. That was insightful. So good. I feel like the time flew by. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I don't take it for granted that you said yes. You're all the way in Canada and you said yes to our interview today. I'm so grateful for your time. Thank you for your story. Thank you for everything we can glean from you. And I'm sure our audience will love this interview and will love to be connected with you. If with your permission, we'll put your contact information, like your Instagram. Is that okay? Instagram and your website. We'll put that in the description section of the podcast. And so our audience could further connect with you and be a part of what you're doing and further learn from your story as well. Thank you for listening to the Wealthy Daughters podcast today. Hope it was a blessing to you. And we want you to know that God wants you to live the abundant life, and wealth is your inheritance. It's your birthright, and you are called to live a life of purpose. And so we hope that this episode empowers you to do that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Talk to you later. This is your Wealthy Year. Bye bye.